somebody's potentially going, and I think this is really interesting. All right, so Saquon Barkley, who the Giants never should have drafted at number 2 overall. It was a dumb pick the second they made it. I don't care how good he is because running backs aren't worth the second pick in the draft. They're just not.
But not how good he was his rookie year.
Yeah, not worth it.
Wait,
Yeah, well, he got hurt.
No.
Not his rookie year.
What? Hold on. Am I bugging? I'm about to go to.
I'm pretty sure. I was looking through this the other day because I was yelling at somebody else about Saquon because what happened is, and why we're going to be yelling about all of this, he's on the trade block. They're listening to offers.
That's right, because
for Saquon Barkley.
He's been dealing with injury problems, and it just hasn't worked out really the last 3 years. I get that.
And they're turning the
but
page.
It made sense to draft him.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it
What
didn't.
are you
In
talking
what
about? He was an
universe?
elite talent. What are you talking
At
about?
running back.
At a disposable.
Doesn't matter, but we've had
does
this
matter.
talk long.
Disposable. Absolutely.
We've had this
disposable.
talk before. Yes, running backs aren't as important as they used to be unless you're elite. He was on an elite trajectory.
And
11 touchdowns, 1,300 yards his first year.
Okay.
He looked.
How many wins did they have?
Huh?
How many wins?
Doesn't matter. They had a bad team around them. They had a bad team. Oh, shut up, Taylor.
All
They
right.
had a bad team around them.
All right, they still do. And now he's
I
done.
know that's not his fault.
But
it hasn't
it's
worked
not
out.
his fault.
It hasn't
It's
worked
the
out.
Giants' fault.
For drafting him.
You don't draft a running back at 2.
Right, that's an organizational problem.
Yes.
He's a top 5 type of pick, though.
No.
When he's healthy, he's a top 5 running back, maybe. But for everything I hear
that's
from
my
Giants
point.
people,
That's my point.
But everything I hear from Giants people, even is that he's gotten worse. All they tell me now is,
Well,
he doesn't hit the hole. He's not the same
They've had
guy.
a bad offensive line. They have a terrible offensive
Well, they
line.
do,
there.
which is why
They're
you
a
don't
mess,
draft
dude.
that
The Giants
spot
are a
that
mess.
high. Yes.
Right, he made sense.
He didn't make
He made
sense.
sense at the time. Vince, I'm sure at the time you were like, "Oh yeah, the Giants made the right selection." I'm sure
I
you did.
guarantee you I didn't.
I'm going to go back to listen to the WIP tape.
I guarantee you I was trashing that pick. I've been out on running backs as a top pick since like 2016.
On the first round.
Yeah, it very
Period.
rarely, unless you're in the back end of the first, and that's like the missing piece. And even then,
No,
it's like
no,
I
not
think
in
it's
the
a
first
stretch.
round.
Like certain guys at like 30, if you take Alvin Kamara, you know what I mean? Like I would have done that when he was coming out.
Alvin
I liked
Kamara is
him a
more
lot.
of a product of a great offense in New Orleans.
Well, he's a great player too.
You know what I'm saying? Like Saquon's just a really good. I think he's that type of talent.
But you don't know, because here's the problem: is even the window for an elite running back, the shelf life is not that long. Like if you're getting a guy that's similar quality, wide receiver, offensive line, corner, defensive lineman, any of those things, they're going to play longer, most likely. They're going to play more games for you, most likely, and they have a higher impact.
I get what you're saying, but like Saquon was going to play at least he'll play at least 5 to 8 years, and in that time they're going to build up to be.
That's not good
for
for
a contender.
But you don't spend a number 2 pick on that.
I think it made sense.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible. And now at this point, because think about this, right? They drafted the guy. He has a great rookie year. They don't win anything. It's the next 3 years he's missing some games. He misses a lot of the previous season, 2020. Now he's on the last year of his rookie deal, and they're looking to move him. The window is closed. You know what I mean? They're not going to pay Saquon Barkley. They're not going to invest in Saquon Barkley. The window when he was a valuable piece to them is over. They're starting over without him.
I don't disagree with that. I think they should trade him now. It makes sense because he's had injuries and just hasn't worked out, and the Giants need to really rebuild. It makes sense now. All I was arguing, and I know we weren't going for that. I know you.
Well, no, it's fine because it's. I'm surprised. I didn't expect that.
I'm surprised that you don't feel that the same way.
I didn't know there were people on the other side of the stake.
Yeah, I argued with somebody yesterday about this on Twitter, and their argument was Derrick Henry, and it's like, all right, well, no one knew Derrick
had incredible. 3-4.
No one thought Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry before he got drafted anyway. But if they did know and he did get drafted like that, he's been amazing. And for the Titans, he sold tickets, so he's probably worth it. But
and was he a first-round draft pick?
Yeah, no,
I don't think
exactly.
No, he wasn't.
Taylor, that's different.
But even if you knew what he was, it's like
he's a running back.
As far as the Titans have gotten, they didn't make a Super Bowl. They need a better quarterback, and Tannehill's not good enough. So it's like, if the rest of the team isn't good enough, at what point? Like, what you need to do, what you need to build as a full organization, have a running back be your star franchise player and win the Super Bowl. I mean, holy crap. Like, the closest thing we saw was Todd Gurley a couple of years ago, and he got ran down. He
Right.
just,
3 seasons.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I agree.
that was it. And like the Rams kicked out Todd Gurley when he was the heart of their team and arguable MVP in 2018.
He was the face of the LA move.
And he's gone. And now what is he, like 28? Is he even in the league?
He hasn't played since 2020. Yeah.
He's not
He
that
had
old.
3 good years. He had his rookie year. He had 2017, 13, and 17 touchdowns a year after that. And then after that, he got hurt. No, maybe no, he didn't get hurt. He just wasn't good.
So, yeah, because his knees were shot.
Right.
So, like, that's the kind of problem that you run into with a running back like that. So the Giants do it. They draft Saquon. They go through these years. The GM gets fired, which was inevitable when you make picks like this, in my estimation. And when you get to where the Giants are now, okay, new management, new coaching staff, they're turning the page, they're moving on from Saquon. Right now, the estimate is about a 4th-round pick to get him, which is, I think, what he's worth if you're going to make the trade. Now, one, we can talk about whether or not the Eagles should get him. I wouldn't pay a 4th-rounder right now for Saquon Barkley. I wouldn't.
Yeah, just
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't either.
Oh,
Yeah.
now you don't like him.
Oh my gosh, I'm talking. No, we're
Oh,
not going back. We're not going back there.
yeah.
No, we're not going
Okay.
back. I don't feel like going through this whole thing again.
I like this. I like Taylor dragging you through this whole
I
thing.
don't like
this is
Taylor
good.
dragging me.
This is good.
I don't deserve this.
Oh
Him
no,
and his
you
bad
Just
music.
all of
You
a
do.
sudden, you don't like him.
Oh, no, we're not doing this. No, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because it's like, all right, what am I going to do? If he became a free agent, I would consider it. Right, free agent, you sign him for $4 or $5 million a year.
Oh, somebody's going to sucker into more than that.
Somebody's definitely going to pay him like
Absolutely.
7 or 8, and
Yes.
it's like, all right, good luck to you, you know. But outside of that, I'm not paying a 4th-round pick. And plus, if you're going to do that from the Eagles standpoint, if I'm the Giants, I'm not taking him for a 4th and sending him to you. Like, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
Eagles you're paying at least a 3 if you're the Eagles. If you're going to give up a 3rd-round pick for Saquon Barkley at this point, I think you're out of your mind. Like, we had discussions. I threw this out. I threw this out earlier in the season as a poll, and like this was one of my most responded to polls because everybody hated me for even asking the question just to see how people felt. But I was like, would you spend a 1st-round pick on a running back? And everybody, it was like 98% no. And the whole idea was the line is so good, it doesn't matter who the running back is. Put anybody back there. And if you feel that
To a certain
way,
extent.
there's no point in getting a guy like Saquon Barkley and trading for him right now.
I agree with that.
Just doesn't make sense. So
no, I 100% agree.
and I get it. I totally understand that, and I'm okay with it. It was just like, and with that whole question, it was like, all right, well, what if they got a guy that like was Nick Chubb at the end of the 1st, and like that'd be fun, you know? So it was like, are people open to that? No, nobody's open to that. Okay, that's good to know. So thinking about where it is now, you see them moving on from Saquon Barkley, last year of his deal, incredible talent. And a guy that, you know, injury history, all that kind of stuff. Why aren't we doing the same thing with Miles Sanders?
I think people still. What'd you tell her?
I said thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think the thing with Miles is people are still attached to that. Oh, look what he was his rookie season. Look at the type of talent he was, and they're just waiting for that to come back around. And it never really has. We've seen like stints of it. We've seen flashes, but it's never really come back around. And like you said, man, like put any running back there. It probably does make sense to trade him now.
It does.
Not probably. It does.
This is the time
100%
because
does.
he started to hit the hole in the back half of the season. You can sell that. Because
Right.
now it's like, oh, well, he was a lot more efficient once Jordan Howard almost took his job and then he changed his running style. Yeah, now he's a guy that you can sell because he was getting more dynamic plays. He was a more system-friendly running back rather than a guy that's just an athlete that can make things happen. So, okay, trade him. And I guess the other question is then, like, what do you trade him for? Like, if I'm another team, anybody that's like, all right, I want Miles Sanders, what is that worth to you?
I mean, I think you're either getting a future draft pick or you're
Yeah.
getting a hole that you need right now. Like a
Like linebacker, like we trade him for some rotational, which you could do.
I mean, if you're going to get something back better than what you have right now, which I don't know if there's, I don't know if a team would be willing to give that up right now for anything better than we have right now. But it would have to be an edge rusher or a linebacker or a safety. And I think Howie's probably looking at more in the draft anyway. You know, you got Nakobe Dean, you've got and I didn't even mention wide receiver. The receivers we'll try. I don't know if we're going to get to or not. But there's a bunch of receivers in this draft class that I think are being overlooked. as well as there's some defensive ends in this draft class. So he might. I don't know what they would trade Miles Sanders for, to be completely honest with you. But what would you think they would give up for him?
I mean, I think he'd be an interesting guy in the middle rounds, like second, third, somewhere in that area. If you're going to move up to get a guy, and you package Sanders as a way to move up.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that.
Right, like that's one of the things that I would like to do. Otherwise, if you just have to offload him for a pick at this point, I mean, if you're getting a 4 for him, he's not. It's 1 year that's left on his deal. He doesn't cost all that much right now, and if teams like him, they can re-sign him. And it's not like they have to re-sign him for a lot. He's not making much anyway. So
there was defending Nelson Aguilar on Twitter last year, all throughout the season. I don't want to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, don't do
Sorry,
that.
man. Is Miles technically? He's not a hometown guy, right?
He went to Penn
PA.
State.
He's a PA guy,
I forget.
I
I don't know what his hometown is, but I know he went to
guy.
Penn
Never mind.
State.
I think he's a Pittsburgh guy. Okay, but
Hmm. Okay.
never mind. But I don't. I mean, I think we definitely got to move on from him. You got to kind of get whatever you think you can get for him.
Right?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think you got to think.
So
even,
Pittsburgh, okay.
even if it's not like something that maybe it's not like a perfect deal. Obviously, you want to try to get the deal that makes sense for you as much as possible. But man, it just wouldn't make sense to have Miles Sanders on the roster.
Hear me out.
Okay.
A running back that can get into the end zone.
That is wild. That stat last year, man.
It is. I mean,
Wild.
for his career, I don't know how many touchdowns he has. It's a low number for a guy with the number
right
of
now.
carries that he has. But when you think about it, it's like, okay, he had none last year, and it's been well over a calendar year.
9
at this
career
point.
touchdowns.
Oh
That's
my God!
so bad.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
So bad.
Wild.
Okay, so he's got. Think about this. All right.
Wait. Hear me out again.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
No.
Yo, listen, hold on. I was thinking about this. If you could promise me Saquon Barkley will come back and be his old self and stay healthy,
No,
why not?
because that's not.
I'm not
gonna
saying I
happen.
would do it. I'm just saying if you could promise me that.
But
absolutely.
If you could promise me $1 million tomorrow.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, oh man.
Vince, if I told you, hold on, Vince. If I told you I'm the New York Giants and who's their GM?
Yes.
is he? Who is
Brandon Bean now?
Billy
that
Bean.
it?
Billy Bean.
Or is that the Bills GM? I forget. It's somebody from the Bills that's there. Anyway.
We'll say Billy Bean.
Sure.
Because
You're Billy Bean now.
And you're Brad Pitt, and you're saying, "Hey Vince, you're Howie Rose. Hey Vince, Saquon's gonna come back from the dead. He's gonna be his old self coming out of Penn State. 1,300 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns his rookie year. He's gonna be that same guy. I'll give him to you for a second round pick. You wouldn't do it, huh?
No, a second round
What?
pick? No.
Billy Bean gets angry. What?
Yeah.
You're wild. No, but you're wild for not taking that.
I
You're
wouldn't
wild.
do it.
You're wild.
No, because I could draft somebody. There's a guy in the draft that's coming up literally this year. Kenneth Walker, the
But
second
you
or the
no.
third?
But you know that you'd be getting that good Saquon Barkley. Go ahead, Taylor. You're gonna say something.
Kenneth Walker is a football running back that you want on your team.
Kenneth Walker is legit.
Yeah, that's a football name.
It is a football
Wait,
name, and
who's
he's
Kenneth
good.
Walker?
He's in the draft this year. He's a Michigan State running
I don't know
back.
how good he's going to be in the NFL. I know Saquon in his rookie year was a great running back.
Yeah, that was
And how many
5
years ago? Yeah.
I'm saying though, if he, did you not listen to what I just told him? If I promised you, he'd be that guy.
You didn't promise me anything.
Yeah, but
Oh
it's
my
who-
God,
It's,
I'm
but
speaking-
it's who is he?
Vince, I'm speaking hypothetical.
Yes, but the hypothetical doesn't work. 'Cause he's broken. He's a
I'm saying
broken
it works
man.
in the situation.
I don't want if in the hypothetical I wouldn't trade a second for him. And now it's like
And I'm saying you said a broken man. I'm saying if he comes back and he's not a broken man, if he's a injury-free
well, if he
guy.
comes back and he's not a broken man, then I go, all right. I mean, whatever.
Second rounder.
Maybe they could have traded for him, but I'd rather
yeah.
take the bet. It's a smarter bet to not believe that a running back is going to rehab their injuries and be a new man.
Even if he was somewhat,
Where did
if he was somewhat peak, I think that's a marginal improvement for the team.
Yeah, like
So it doesn't matter.
you get somebody, you draft somebody, you sign a free agent from the Colts, name Marlon Mack, and you do it for half the money that Saquon's going to cost you. You run him, you run Kenny Gainwell, you trade Sanders and some other guy. Like, that's it. It's easy. I mean, think about this. Like, Miles Sanders, going back to the touchdown thing, 9 touchdowns in his career. Gainwell, last year, 7.
Ugh.
7. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So Stick with that. And they didn't use him all that much throughout the whole year.
No.
They used him
didn't.
early.
No, they didn't. I like
and they used him
Gainwell.
late.
I do. I just don't like him as the number one yet.
No, he's not. And there isn't a number one. You know what I mean?
Bro, I know what you're saying, but there's a guy that's going to get the bulk of the carries, correct?
Well, it's
I don't
the
think
roles.
Gainwell is that guy.
You want a guy that can consistently get handoffs, go inside and off tackle with enough speed. That's Mac to me. It could be Kenneth Walker in the draft. That Kenneth Walker is a stud.